Semi-aquatic, egg-laying mammal of action. He's a furry little fatfoot who'll never flinch from a fray. He's got more than just mad skill. He's got a beaver tail and a bill. And the women swoon whenever they hear him say.
Pra ela, vai mulher, tu se assume. Tá chapada de balinha, de whisky, lança tua aguenta.
The year is 2274. In the wake of the Solis colony revolts, humanity has become a thriving interstellar nation with a healthy and growing economy across many worlds throughout the Milky Way. Despite this peace and harmony would soon be burnt to ashes, left forgotten and shrouded in chaos. Diplomatic relations with the neighbor of the United Federation of Terran States, the Republic of Selvi, had been tense for some time, and while the diplomatic war raged across the front lines of council chambers and meeting rooms, disaster was making its deadly blows in the background. On August 17th, 2274, the UFTSS Swift suffers a reactor malfunction and makes planetfall on a Selvanate colony world. The ensuing reactor detonation leaves massive ecological and environmental damage, as well as resulting in the death of nearly 3 million Selvanate citizens. The event became the largest diplomatic disaster in human history, and would become the catalyst for the most bloody and violent war to ever occur. As tensions skyrocketed, both sides began preparing for war, and panic spread throughout a once peaceful and unified humanity. Fleets massed across both sides of the border, and worlds fortified their defenses in preparation for open conflict. Soon after, both factions closed their borders to each other, and the calm before the storm began, as they each lay in wait for the other to make their move. The first battle was not a battle, but rather a massacre. 72 UFTS Navy ships were destroyed or lost, as a computer virus transmitted from Earth spread throughout the amassed fleets, disrupting Federation lines and spreading fear and confusion. Both factions entered into open conflict the following week, with violent clashes involving hundreds of ships erupting across the border. Federation lines began to buckle under the overwhelming pressure and military might of Selvanate forces. But they held the line. Despite everything, they held the line. The losses were staggering. Thousands of ships fell to the advances, and victories were rare and far between. But they held. Finally, after months of brutal and bloody conflict, Alpha Centauri fell to Selvanate forces. Earth, the capital of the Federation, was now directly in the line of fire. Rumors of rebellion within the ROS began circulating, But despite this, emboldened by their successes, the faction began an invasion of the weaker neighbor state of the UFTS, the Profia Mercantile Assembly, who had previously remained neutral as the war raged. A distress call was received soon after, bearing the following words: "Military collapse. Requesting immediate aid. Home system under siege." Seizing the opportunity presented to them, the UFTS responded to the call with the largest task force in UFTS history, consisting of nearly 150 vessels and featuring some of the first Federation ships designed purely for combat. The battle lasted for less than 12 hours and resulted in the complete loss of the ROS invasion fleet. The PMA officially entered the war the following week, lending its advanced shipbuilding techniques and facilities in their entirety to the UFTS. A sleeping industrial powerhouse had been awoken, and the tide of war quickly shifted in favor of the Federation. The now weakening Salvanate state began to falter, rebellions against its death-grip government flooding across its systems, hundreds of worlds now compromised, and the rebellion spreading. The rebellion grew, but not without bloodshed. As the Republic of Selvin began to fall, government crackdowns resulted in the deaths of billions across its worlds. This, however, only worsened the situation, resulting in a military coup when a Selvanate battle cruiser opened fire on the capital of the faction during a pro-government rally. The weeks that followed saw the conclusion of Phase 1 of the war, and a temporary respite from the brutal and bloody conflict. As the war came to its conclusion, the UFTS sensor network picked up a distress call from the UFTSS Nightingale of what would soon be named Reality AG-2, commanded by Captain James Tanner, and one of the 72 ships lost at the start of the war. Its computer core contained a series of files and logs detailing a story that would change the face of the galaxy forever. The logs detailed a complete list of events after the ship's hijacking, the failed detonation of the reactor core, and the virus's attempt to destroy the ship inside a black hole. And most importantly, the accidental transportation of the vessel to a reality adjacent to its own, which would soon be named Alpha Prime, where it encountered itself in the form of the UCOPS Nightingale, belonging to a UFTS that was on the brink of faltering. It was soon learned by the captains of these vessels that the ROS of Alpha Prime was preparing to invade the native reality of General James Tanner, soon to be named Reality CC-1. Captain Tanner of Reality AG-2, in one of the most important battles to ever take place, assaulted the Selvanate Transdimensional Wormhole Generation node alongside General Tanner, successfully sending the Nightingale of AG-2 through to CC-1, just as the trim gen was activated, before temporarily taking it offline, giving Captain Tanner time to warn CC-1 of the impending invasion. The following year and a half was spent constructing a trim gen in CC-1 in an attempt to contact AG-2 as a last-ditch cry for help. It was a monumental superstructure and had reached operational but not complete status when disaster struck. The trim gen in Alpha Prime had finished repairs, and Alpha Prime ROS forces were flooding throughout CC-1. The trim gen of CC-1 was activated shortly after, sending the Nightingale back to its origin reality to call for aid. As it did so, the war escalated tenfold in CC-1, with desperate Federation forces fighting with every shred they had left, in a desperate last stand against their opponent. (2277) The UFTS, the newly established Democratic Republic of Selvin, and PMA are preparing to perform the largest joint fleet action in recorded history. Their goal? To prevent the destruction of Reality CC-1. Reports from the reality say that the lines have all but collapsed, and Earth is now under siege by Selvanate forces. Time is running out. The largest battle in history ensued, with nearly 100,000 ships involved in the engagement. It culminated with the destruction of the UFTSS Nightingale, who rammed a command vessel in a last-ditch effort to upset Selvanate lines. They succeeded, and the battle began to draw to a close, victory firmly under the belt of Liberation forces. It was a hollow victory, though, with untold trillions across the war-scarred realities having been killed in combat, and many never recovered. Vast burials, cemeteries of identical marble headstones, nothing lying beneath them. The war would leave scars across time and would usher in the next chapter of galactic history.